Good morning. It's a beautiful day. Wazzy. Good morning, Waz. Waz, package out today. I forgot about yesterday being Columbus Day, so no mail went out. But we're gonna Wazinate you today, bro. Nerdy, got those great pictures. Tomorrow, first part of the show, we're gonna show the visit and all those beautiful pictures you sent. So tomorrow morning, we're gonna have a nerd show. A nerd shroom show. Good morning, everybody. Saul, I love that you watch us on IG. Thank you for doing that, Saul. Vegas, tomorrow morning, mail call. Somebody sent me something from the Henderson, Nevada area. Mail call tomorrow. I haven't opened it yet. It's in my simmer pile. So mail call tomorrow morning. Cleanie, hurry up and get us a menu. I'm tired of telling people to wait. Hurry up, okay? Get it together out there. I need a clean grow menu, okay? Sandy, you keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. Sandy's killing the game. Don't you dare complain because there's nothing to complain about. Cleanie, you can. If there's anyone that can rush nature, it's you. Get with it. You try being the guy that tells everybody wait. You try it. I'm so over telling people to wait. Cleanie. So put some pressure on nature. No, Larry B, we don't. We used to, but they're really hard to ship. They're hard to ship and get you the quality that we demand. So, we're teaching you right here how to do it yourself, though. Cleanie, come on, man. What do you got, Cleanie? 6 weeks? 5 weeks? 8 weeks? What are we looking at? 5280 all day? Good morning. You're welcome, Larry. You're welcome. I tried it. I've tried almost everything. 3 weeks, that's not too bad, clean. But then you still gotta get a nice dry on too. Anyways, no pressure. I'm giving you a hard time, but we are getting a lot of questions. So, be aware. Be aware out there. Good morning, everybody. Look at us all here this morning. I knew Lakita was going to show up. This is almost the only reason we even are here today. Good morning, Lakita. I need 3 more people to just real quickly say good morning to Lakita. Lakita sounds like, I don't know, man. It sounds like an Indian tribe. Oh, that's good, Cleanie. Look at you. That's the 3 week. Lakita. She's skipping right along, right, nerd? Okay. Lakita had no idea that she'd go Lakota on us this morning. Okay, she's like, wait, they're talking about me. Darn right we are. Does anybody know anything about smudging? What do you guys know? Good morning. Good morning, yellow shirt guy. Who knows anything about smudging? Who has a smudge pot in their house? Who smudges with sage? Penny, you're a smudger? First of all, I like saying the word. Practice with me. Say the word smudge. It's fun. Smudge. Nerdy, I've never done it. In my whole life, I've never smudged once. I've been around smudging. I've seen people, I've been in a room they smudged, but I wasn't the smudger. I was a smudgee. Okay? I was a smudgee. Cleanie. That doesn't count. The Snoop table doesn't count as smudging. Okay? Cleanie. Just sitting at a Snoop table does. I'm a smudgee, nerdy. Okay? Cleany thinks sitting at a snoop table with everybody else means he's smudged. Totally wrong, Cleany. Okay? Get it together. Snoop table. Everybody sitting at a snoop table gets a marijuana smudge job. Okay? Smudging. Does it work? Penny, any smudger, talk to the smudgies. Does it work? Derek Anderson says you're smoking out the demons. I'm really, really serious. Does it work? What's the difference? What's the difference? Penny says, of course it works, Pops. It just smells up the house, though, a little bit, right? Is there a demon that lives in the house and you can kill it with smudge? Seriously? Waz says, I've seen it work. So you're a smudgy. Waz, you're basically telling us you're a smudgy, not a smudger. Okay. Oh, it brings mellowness. You mellow out. Is that what happens? You're into Smudgeville? I'm smudging, man. Are you high on the smoke? Do you think you're just high on the smoke or what? Penny says you got to make sure the windows are open so you can chase the smudgies out. Okay? Oh, is that true, Waz? The demons of cocaine. Cocaine demons. I have those. Is that how you got rid of them? Smudging? I think incense is a smudge. Isn't it nerdy? Either that or it's... I used to do incense to cover up the old marijuana smell. Remember that? First time I ever found osium. Who's used osium? Man, that saved my life when I was a teenager. I think it came out right in the mid-70s. Saved my life. Osium and Visine. Oh, many a nights I could sneak in the house and park the car in the driveway, and I was going to be okay in the morning. Okay? Do you remember that, nerdy? He used to use osium. My mom's like, it's such a lovely smell of lemon after you drive the car. I don't know why, but... Well, I'm not telling you, okay? Mom, can I borrow the car? Got my osium. Got my Visine. Can I borrow the car? Smudging. Okay, dude, Vegas is like, I still use it, man. I got neighbors to worry about. Smudging. So I'm not making fun of vegetarians because I know that it's actually good for you. I think being a vegetarian is good for you. It's just a thought. It's an opinion based off of, I don't have a lot of experience. So I'm telling you, everything I'm about to tell you is pure opinion. No medical facts involved in this at all. I'm not a vegetarian, but I think, Joni, my favorite food is turkey. Turkey dinner. I want turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy and cranberry, gelled cranberry. That's my final meal. Right before you electrocute me. That's the one I want. Thanksgiving. Best meal of the year. And then I do it like 4 or 5 times a year. I do a Thanksgiving meal all the time. Smudging. Okay? I'm a smudger. But what happened is I found I don't have the personal discipline that it takes to be a vegetarian. I think it takes discipline. Later on, you get used to it and, all that. But at first, it would take rigid, iron-willed core discipline to pass the hot dog stand. I would have a very, very, very difficult time. So, And the problem sometimes with vegetarians, like my sister's a vegetarian, but she doesn't tell anybody. I have a hard time with the vegetarians that tell everybody. It's their religion and their job is to convert me. Okay? I'll figure it. I don't have the discipline, so don't try to convert me. I'll eat more vegetables, though. I'm eating less meats. I promise. But once in a while, you get one of those vegetarians. You get one of those vegetarians that won't stop. I can't pass up a hot dog 4-leaf. I just can't, man. So militant vegetarians, that's a good way to put it, Wazzy. And it gets bothersome. We had one here. A friend of mine turned into a vegetarian. She went militant on me. Spent all Vegas, I'm not eating a veggie dog. That's like eating, why don't I just roll up some grass from the yard? So, okay, so here's, are you listening? So my friend left. Wonderful girl, everything about her is wonderful, except she left vegetarian spirits in the house. She left vegetarian spirits like floating around my house. And all of a sudden I was missing my hot dogs. I was going, what's going on? I think I need to smudge the house. Who wants to see Pops smudge in the house after the vegetarian left? Give me 5 people that want to say I had organic ghosts, Lakita. Okay, who wants to see how Pop smudged the house after the vegetarian left? Raise his hand. You guys ready? Free? There we go. Okay. This is me smudging the house. Get it over by the couch. She sat on the couch. She was there. She was right there on the couch. Get out. Get the hell out of here. I open the windows, Perry. I open the windows. Vegetarians are wonderful people. Don't get me wrong. This is all for a joke. Yeah, get out of here. Get off the sofa. Get out of here. She was out right there. Okay. Well, seems to be working. I asked, I said, does smudging work? And I'm going to tell you it does. We had sausage last night. Okay? I had sausage for dinner. Oh, gosh. Took me 8 minutes to set that one up. I hope you guys love me. Don't hang up. Please don't go away. Come back. Come back. Cleanie, I fixed that all right. Okay. Oh, you guys, I smudged the house real good. Okay. Sausage smudge was. Who does that? Okay. Let's do one more video, and then we're going to get serious for today. It goes a long walk to that one, Cleanie. It was. But we smudged. We went smudgy. Okay, there goes the neighborhood, Freddie. Is it a sausage party or a smudge party, Billy? Let's do one more. This is funny. Wazzy, because I use bacon. Bacon's a good one. Wazzy, bacon actually would be really good. Okay, come on, Vegas. Get those people liking. Penny, if you aren't laughing, nobody will. Okay, go get Ted. All right, watch this one. This has nothing to do with smudging, but are you getting your Halloween costumes together? There are so many creative ideas for Halloween. Aromatherapy, JC. Oh, can you imagine putting a pellet in and it comes out smelling like a hot dog? There are a lot of, are you guys getting ready to do your Halloween? Getting your Frankensteins on, are you? I remember the year I was a mummy. Used more toilet paper. It was ridiculous. I was like a walking toilet paper roll. I remember the year I was a pirate and I was at the Santa Monica parade and Miss Rose had to talk the police into letting me out of the back seat of the car. They were driving me away. I was going around lifting everybody's costumes up with the hook. I had one of those fake pirate hooks. I was out of control. I didn't even remember any of it. The next day she broke up with me. She goes, I don't ever want to see you again. You're a terrible person. What you did last night is completely, what did I do? Please tell me what I did. Complete blackout. No, I'm not talking to you. Please. Yep, Halloween. Halloween gets, you have the wrong outfit on and you're in a parade. Okay. Oh yeah, Fred, I got fired. She like rehired me like a week later, but I got fired from a Halloween because of a dumb Halloween costume. Be careful what you wear for Halloween. Okay? We'll talk more about, let's get creative. Give me some creative Halloween ideas. Send them to my IG. Okay? Vegas, I knew it would be. Send it to my IG. I'll tell you guys more about that Halloween night someday. Oh my God. Her sister was there. Her sister wouldn't talk to me. Both of them. That's it. I got cut off from the whole family. It was one of those deals where I still don't know what I did. Okay, Woz, go to Australia right now. Go to Australia as soon as I say. Here we go. Are we guys ready? This is a creative idea for Halloween. Let's be creative. Oh, I was Captain Hook. I had one of those fake hooks. You know what I'm talking about? Where you put your fist in it, but then there's this plastic hook. And I would go around and I was lifting up like all the ladies' dresses and stuff. And hey, arr! And just, I was sexually abusing everybody at the parade. Jesus. Do you guys want to go to the parade this year? Not with you. Okay? I got fired. If I'd have worn this outfit, oh, it was total, William, it was total sexual harassment. Totally. Drunk sexual harassment. Like, leave those ladies' skirts alone. All right? Oh, wait. Just in case they copyright the music stuff. Ah, you're not going to do this, are you? All right, we'll go over here. Oh. I don't want to play the music because I don't know if they'll copyright violate me. You know what I'm talking about, Derek Anderson. But check this guy out. It'll only take a couple of minutes. Watch this. I want you guys to show me some creative videos about Halloween costumes. We'll share these until Halloween. I love creative stuff. You guys know that about Pops. Look at this. So far, I'm like, what the heck is this guy doing? Right, Queenie? What is this guy doing? Right, Corey? Wait. Ah! Help! Frank's got me! Pretty good one, huh? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. An afternoon and probably $20, $30 in stuff. And you're like the Frankenstein at the party guy. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Okay. Herbie, am I sending you to Australia next? I don't want to send Herbs to Australia. Okay. Mike, that was a really easy one to do, it looked like. If you do it, send us pictures of Mike Baraball in a box. Baraball in a box. I wanted to read 2 things to you, and then we're going to get to mushroom growing class. Okay? We're going to go to mushroom growing class. But give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Wow. It's the first time in like a year that IG hasn't blocked my IG page from going live. First time. And I checked it this morning. I was going, hey, it lets me go live. So check this out. That's us on IG. Okay? So I'm doing a simulcast. I'm on IG over here, and I'm on YouTube over here. And I'm not going to be able to speak to the IG people because I can't read that far. But I'm on YouTube. And we'll be talking to the YouTube guys over here. I'm going to try this a couple of days this week. And then we're going to see if we can do a multi-screen and interview somebody or something like that over there. Okay? And I have to keep it super cool and super clean because I don't want IG to find another reason to shadow ban me again. Okay? Real quick. This is something I found interesting. Autism. We talked about autism here recently and found out that there's a few of us that have special needs, family members that are on the autistic scale. And I think I even made the bold statement that it's a personal opinion only. That's nothing factual here. It's just my thought. I think everybody's on the autism scale. That's just what I think. I don't care where you are. You might be a 0.1 something, or you might be a flaming 10. But autism, and it's so misunderstood, even by me, mostly by me. I'm the guy talking. There's a really neat, listen to a couple of things. I think I am too, nerdy, not diagnosed, but I might just be an RX. It nicked me. Yeah, come on, there's no shame in it. Autism is autism. It's like, probably one of the reasons I feel so good to microdose. I'm going to read you a couple of facts about autism. You guys ready? Give me 5 people that say, Pops, tell us just a little bit about autism. Clear up a little bit of the fog. Unfogonate us, just a touch. Is this interesting? Nerdy, especially if we've been nicked by it, RX. Let's do a couple of those. It would be different if we're in group setting. I get eye contact and I know if what I'm saying is clicking and people care. If not, quick, change subject. Autism on acid. Society is indebted to autism. We said it, and that's what we mean. Everyone knows folks on autism spectrums are geniuses. Yeah, we know it's not fair to characterize an entire group of people. But come on, who else could have given us the relativity theory, Pokemon, and electric cars? Pokemon? The Pokemon guy was, the Pokemon creator was autistic? Of course, even superheroes have their kryptonite. For our autistic friends, it's often this pesky thing called social anxiety. So I have a feeling if I experience social anxiety, I have a touch of autism. For me. I'm okay with that. I'm on the spectrum. And I am one of those, you wouldn't know it because I have reprogrammed myself, but my very first reaction in most situations is social anxiety. But then I don't mask it. I just recreate, I remanifest who I'm going to be instead of the anxious guy. I'm going to be the kind guy. But social anxiety. Free, get out of here. So, this social anxiety makes interacting with others challenging and stressful. Vegas, you get it? According to a new study, psychedelics may help. Researchers surveyed, it's a very, very small group, of 233 autistic adults. And they surveyed them about their most impactful psychedelic experience. Right, Billy D? Keeps you from even leaving the house sometimes, doesn't it? Here's what changed for the participants after their acid journey, psychedelic journey. 82% said their psychological distress was reduced, meaning they had better mental health overall post-trip. 78% reported decreased social anxiety. They felt less like hiding under a rock at a party. 70% felt more socially engaged. Small talk didn't seem so pointless anymore. 20% said their anxiety actually increased. Alas, no silver bullets here. I like that. I like them telling the truth. 20% like, oh, I don't know, man, it didn't help me at all. I just got a little bit crazier. Got a little more anxious. Okay. I can see that happening depending on setting, expectations, etc. The amount, the people. Before you get too excited, remember this was only an online survey, no lab coats, no controlled environments, just a bunch of autistic folks sharing their truth. Imagine the possibilities. If psychedelics can eliminate a downside of this so-called disorder, it'll be that much easier for everybody to get on board with celebrating neurodiversity. I love that. We don't celebrate neurodiversity. We're all neurally diverse. After all, in a world where autistic minds are reshaping our reality on the daily, who's to say what normal is anyways? Pretty good one, huh? Yeah. Mel, what is normal? Normal's something I'm going to give you one little rando, and then we're off to school. Okay? Heavenly messengers. Boy, we're doing good this morning. Heavenly messengers. The earliest artistic representations of winged angels, as we depict them today, date back to the 4th century. It wasn't until the 4th century we started seeing them with wings. Did you know that? I didn't. Before that time, angels were just portrayed as humans, often wearing beards. Angel pop. As uplifting as those heavenly creatures may appear, at least one biologist from University of College London isn't buying it. In 2009, he compared artistic renderings of winged angels with the physiology of earthly flying species. And he concluded that divine messengers wouldn't be able to get off the ground. This took a study from some guy in London, a college in London, to figure that out? Seriously? I knew when I was 4 an angel, come on, aerodynamically, that thing's going nowhere. Especially the baby angels. They have wings this big and they're little chubby fellas. It took a whole study to figure that out. What? Okay, regardless, angels definitely have their defenders. In 2008, a survey conducted by the Baylor University Institute. Where are these universities getting their money? Can you go study mushrooms? We're trying to figure out if an angel can fly. So now we're in 2008. We're in Baylor University Institute for the Studies of Religion. They found out, after studies, 55% of Americans believe that they have been protected by a guardian angel at some point in their lives. I'm in that 55%. I helped one change a flat tire once. I had one help me change a flat tire once. That's not a lie. God had to have been an angel. I'll tell that story once. I'll tell it again someday. 55% of us believe that guardian angels have helped us out. I didn't say it flew. Mine didn't have wings. And gosh darn it, the guy had a beard. Now that I think about it. He had a beard. He's a young guy, brown hair. Anyways, I still remember him. Okay. Laws, it's a true story. I had an angel help me change my tire, and then boop, disappeared. So, you guys ready to get back to class? Vegas, it could be our ancients in our own spirit line, right? Totally can agree with that. Let's get to class. So where we left off last week was we had jarred up our prepared grain. We had sterilized it. We had put it away for 24 hours or so to let it cool down. Some of us put it on its side and roll it every once in a while. Some of us, after 12 hours, man, I got to get that stuff inoculated because I'm behind on my schedule. But either way, it's now you have a jar of grain that's sterilized, and you have your liquid culture that you're going to start that jar's colonization with, okay? There's actually, at this point, there's 3 major ways that we'll inoculate grain. Inoculate, you'll use this word. I never knew this when I was a kid. Remember when you were a kid, you heard so-and-so, oh yeah, so-and-so knocked up so-and-so. It means they got him pregnant. It was such a terrible way to put it now, if I look back. I would never say that. But it was something that we used to say. Oh, so-and-so got knocked up. Do you remember that? And I never, until I got much, much older, I didn't really put it together. Knock up means inoculated. Oh, that makes sense. So-and-so got inoculated. Okay? My jars, I knock them up. I don't think it's a bad thing to, is it rude to tell my jars that I knocked them up? Give me 5 people. Is it okay to knock up jars? Or do we have to inoculate them? Penny, right? That's kind of a new one. Is it okay to knock jars, or we have to use the whole word? Which one? Help me out. We're knocking up jars. It's okay. We're okay with it. Nobody's offended if I say knocking up a jar. So that's what we do. We inoculate jars, we knock jars. There are 3 major ways to inoculate and or knock your sterilized jar of grains. Number 1, you can take a plate, an agar plate that's already been colonized, and you can cut portions of that plate out, and you can donate that little portion into your sterilized grain, close it up, and that'll start your colonization. If you're to do that method, you need to be under a still air box or in front of a laminar flow hood in order to keep a completely antiseptic environment. Okay, so you have to have that extra tool to do agar donations. You can also do the same thing grain to grain. Grain to grain is simply, if I already have a jar that's colonized, the grain in it's already colonized, I can take some of that colonized grain, put it into my jar of uncolonized, sterilized grain, and it'll get it started. Again, in order to do this method, I'll have to do it in front of a still air box, under a still air box, or in front of a laminar flow hood. What these are they're both places, if you're under a still air box, nothing contaminated can fall down into your workspace. You're working in a covered space. In a laminar flow hood, air, clean, medically clean air is blowing past you, and it's blowing anything that could possibly drop into your work area. It's blowing it out and away. So you've got a clean work area that you can work in. So those are if you're going to use those 2 methods. Now, my personal choice of method is grain to grain. And I probably do grain to grain at least 50% of the time. Reason being, I already know that I've got some great colonized grain. It's clean, meaning it's pure white. It's well developed, and it will start my new jar of grain, I'm going to say almost twice as fast as if I used spores, and maybe a third again as fast if I was starting that jar with a liquid culture. Because it's already colonized. It's got legs. It's going. And it's clean. If I'm to start with a syringe of liquid culture, there's still a percentage chance that jar won't turn out to be clean and white. So grain to grain is often my choice. But again, we have the luxury of having a laminar flow hood, so we can work in front of that. For the purposes of teaching people, we want you to start out with a syringe and a jar. That's all you're going to need. So you've got your jar, you've got your syringe of liquid culture. Okay? This is what you're going to do. Before starting, I'm going to read it from here. I'm going to read it from over here. The materials you're going to need to get started. You're going to need your jar of myceliated, you're going to need a syringe of myceliated liquid culture. It's embryonic, it's growing a little bit. You're going to want your sterilized grain jar, your jar with the sterile grain in it. You're also going to want in the lid of that jar a hole that you're either going to tape closed, or you have an actual self-healing port you can put your injection needle into. Okay? You're going to want the syringe full of liquid culture, and you're going to want alcohol, ISO 70%. I would be wearing gloves, and if you have a mask, don't hesitate to wear a mask. You're going to be able to perform this whole procedure of inoculating your jar without ever going underneath a still air box or a liquid culture, a laminar flow hood. You don't need either. You literally could be in a barn somewhere and you have your jars and you have your syringe and you should be able to inoculate that jar cleanly. I don't recommend going hanging out in a barn to do it. I recommend making sure that the whole environment you're working in is clean and germ-free as you can make it. Spray the air real well with your Lysol and stuff like that. But literally, all you would need is your jar, and your liquid culture syringe. At this point, you're going to clean the silicone port. You're going to clean this port, or if you have tape on there, like you saw in some of those jars, spray your spray your ISO on this or on the top of your lid. Your ISO spray. You're killing some germs right now, okay? You'll want to, almost as soon as it's wet, it's still gonna be a little bit wet with that spray. That's good, that's okay. You're gonna pop your needle in here and you're gonna inject, for one jar, you're gonna inject about 2 cc's, maybe 2.5 cc's of the syringe liquid culture into your grain. There's a couple of methods to do this. Some people will take, when their syringe is sitting in there, and as they're spraying the 2 cc, they're moving it around so that liquid culture, when it hits the top of the grain, it spreads all around and it gets a nice coverage. We used to do that and it's completely okay. It's a good way to do it. I have a different method that we use now. I don't really even use it anymore, but I started using it and then I taught this method. If I have the port somewhere like this in the jar, I'm gonna stick my needle in there. I'm gonna aim it like this, and I'm gonna let that liquid culture drain down the side of my jar. I can actually watch that watery substance, the inoculum, drain right down, and it's gonna drain right into the side of my grain, okay? Not evenly covered. Then I'm gonna I do this, I'll take a red pen, black pen, Mark's Lot, something like that, and wherever that little flow of inoculum was, I'll outline it. I'll do a little outline of where it flowed down. And at some point, it's absorbing itself into the grain and all of that, no problem. 4 or 5 days from now, when I'm gonna go look at my jar for the very, very first time, all I need to do is turn my jar to wherever that red outline is, and that's where I should see white starting to form. I should start seeing it happening within 4 to 5 days in my river, right here, okay? I don't do that with bags. You can't do it with Uncle Ben's bags because you don't know where the flow is. The bag's not, Uncle Ben's aren't clear, okay? But this is just a good way, especially if you're beginning and you're nervous and you're not sure. Is the inoculum starting the colonization in the grain? This gives you a quick peek and you can follow exactly where it started and you're gonna see it starting to grow right here, okay? So it's a good way to keep track. And within 4 or 5 days, and if you don't start seeing some growth in your river, you're gonna start being a little concerned. It's either your grain prep, or maybe the liquid culture or the spores you're starting with. You're not done yet, but after about 5 days, you're gonna wanna see some kind of whiteness happening in that inoculum river that you created. Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky. Because you're gonna want to, you're gonna wanna go look at those jars every single day. You're gonna wanna pick them up, you're gonna stare at them, you're gonna look at it, Just remember, every time you touch the jar, there isn't anything in nature that's doing that, except the human. Moving a patch of colonizing mycelium around. No one else in nature does that. It changes even its magnetic setting in the universe. When you pick up that jar and you move it to another, you pick it up, you're staring at it, you go, oh God, gotta go bring it in the living room and show someone, look, it's doing great. Gotta take pictures of it, gotta do all of that. Every one of those moves is not natural. Not one thing that you're doing there is natural. The only time mycelium gets moved around or something happens to it in nature is like when a deer runs by and accidentally hits it with a hoof, and shakes up a little mycelium group. It's an unnatural, it happens on occasions, and it doesn't kill everything, but it's not nature. So now we're sitting here telling ourselves to be nature, let it grow. Go look at it every 4 or 5 days. This is the place you're going to practice growing. This is the place where mushrooms grew me more than anywhere. Because my first batches, I handled those things more than you could possibly handle them. Every time you touch one, you're creating a micro earthquake inside that jar. It's even worse with bags. Bags, you move everything around, they're malleable. A jar, there's some security inside the jar. It's a little harder to kill, to really upset that mycelium network. But in a bag, it's a lot easier. So this is the place where you get to practice. This is the place where you're going to grow. As your mushrooms are growing, don't go bug them. They didn't ask for any help right now. This is the time for the next 20 days that you're going to be doing something different. You're going to be planning the next phase. You're going to be getting your monotub together. You're going to be getting your substrate, your soil together. You have 20 days. You might start another batch. So, 5 days, 20 days, 25 days, 30 days. This is your planning time. It's not your time to go fiddle with your jars. So that's my biggest warning. Now, steps in, this is the final thing right here. Break and shake. We're going to talk about break and shake tomorrow because we're almost out of time. It's a controversial topic. There isn't very much controversy in mycology. Most of us do everything the same. But then there's a time right now while your jars are sitting in there and they're colonizing. Here's something we're going to have to consider. Are we going to break and shake those jars? We'll discuss that tomorrow. In the meantime, and I'm going to give you about 8 different points of view on breaking and shaking, okay? In the meantime, let me show you this. Pops, where do I put the jars? Where do I put the jars after I've inoculated them? What do I do with them? You're going to want to put them in a dark space. You don't want to have a lot of light going on them right now, okay? You want them to develop in the dark because right now you're simulating that mycelium network is right underneath the soil. It's subterranean. Subterranean means there's no light. So the sun isn't getting to it. Subterranean also means it's a little bit warmer than if it's on the surface. So when we are simulating that our network is subterranean, it's starting to colonize, that's the jar. The jar is you're under the ground and you're starting to colonize. So we're going to want the heat to be around 78 degrees to get our colonization, about what happens out in nature, and we're going to want no light. Okay? So that's the condition that we're going to be colonizing those jars in for the next 20 to 25 days. We're going to discuss breaking and shaking and the consistency. I have a couple of pictures. But what do you do with those jars? Grow tent. You could go on Craigslist. You can get a grow tent for $35, $40 nowadays. Okay? And you want to get a small space heater. Okay? Small space heater, I like it. It needs to be digital. Reason being is you're going to want to adjust degree by degree by degree. And if you're just using one of those heaters that's hot, medium, cool, you have no real control over how much temperature you're putting in the chamber that you're colonizing in. If you don't have a grow tent, it's no big deal. You have a closet. A shelf in a closet works. Any kind of small area that you can turn into a grow chamber. We have a little picture here, little illustration. This right here is just a grow tent. I don't put anything on the bottom shelf except for my heater. My heater I'll start adjusting, and sometimes my heater, and this is the missing thing in this picture, I should have a dangling thermometer up here. That thermometer will actually give me a better idea of the ambient temperature inside this tent, or inside this closet, or inside this grow space, or this chamber, or whatever I've created. It'll give me a better idea because hot air rises. So I'll have jars up here that if it's 78 degrees down here, they might be 82 up here. That's too hot. I want nothing hotter than 78 degrees in the tent. So sometimes I'll have to turn this temperature down a little bit to get the ambient temperature inside the tent 78 degrees. And the quickest and easiest way to do that, get one of those little heat guns. I should have it out here. A little heat gun, the little radar thing. What are they? It's a infrared. And you shoot it 12 inches, you hold it 12 inches away from your jar, you shoot it at the jar. They're extremely accurate. And you do that and you go, oh, my jars are right about 78. If you go lower than 78, you're slowing things down. It's going to take a lot longer for them to colonize. If you don't have to worry about humidity at this point, Mr. Marmars. No humidity issues because you're inside of a sealed jar. And we're not worried about airflow. That filter at the top of our jar is going to express our gases. So we don't have to worry about humidity or airflow right now. We're just keeping it dark and we're keeping it at 78 degrees. Okay? The jars themselves, you want them to be measuring out at right about 78 degrees. You go hotter than 78 degrees and you're begging for contamination. Pops, I don't understand why I got all contaminated. You probably didn't realize it, but your tent got hot. Your jars were hotter than you thought they were. Okay? Very, very easy to do because as the jar is starting to colonize, it's creating its own heat source, right? The life in there, all that love making going on, they're creating heat in there. So believe it or not, everything's starting to gain in heat over the course of that 21 days. So I'm a little out of time on this today. We'll pick it back up tomorrow. We're going to look at the condition of our colonized jars. What do we do with them? Do we break and shake them? What are they supposed to look like? Can we go too far with them? What is mic piss? I hate to say it that way, but there's this whole little phenomenon. Once in a while you look at your jar and we have mycelium. It looks like it peed in the jar. We'll discuss that. Where'd it come from? What do we do about it? Everybody good? We rocking and rolling here? Okay. Let's get to that's what they are. They're nerdy metabolites. Good job. Nerdy, what do you grow mushrooms or something, bro? Where's that at? Oh, I know where they're. The third agreement. The third agreement. That's a good one, Kim. The third agreement. We're in our book, The Four Agreements. Okay? On page 63, we start the third agreement. The third agreement. Boy, is this one interesting. And why it's interesting, I mean, all of them are. All four of the agreements. But we do so much more assuming than we think we do. Our brains work very, very fast. Our brains work faster than our words do. Our brains work faster than our words do. And so we also are filled with all of this life experience and all this level of self-importance. And we haven't really been taught to communicate very well, concisely, exactly, no questions asked. I completely understand. We haven't been taught that very well. So assumptions aren't like you did it evilly. Assumptions are things that we are do so naturally in the course of everyday human events. And they cause so much pain and misery. What is an assumption? Everybody knows the old trope. How do you spell assume? A-S-S-U-M-E. If you assume something, you're making an ass out of you and me. I like that one. That one's been around for a long time. It's kind of true. You make more of an ass out of yourself than of me. Especially if I don't take it personal and I'm not making an assumption, but you are. Let's talk about the word assumption for just a moment. Okay? The meaning of the word assumption. Where did it come from? 1 second. The original word for assumption came from the Latin word assumere. There you go, Penny. Latin. Assumere. It moved into the Old French. Assumption. The Latin assumptio. And then English assume. One second. Definition of assume is in, I'm going to ask a quick question in a moment, but the definition of assume, a thing that is accepted as true or certain to happen without proof. I want you to key in on the idea of certain to happen. Assume has a lot more to do with an action, okay? The difference between assume and presume. Let's look at that. The meaning to suppose or to take for granted without proof is an assumption. A presumption is a belief without proof. Presumption has to do with our mind and our belief. Assumption has to do with actions. The action that we're going to take without proof. So assumption is more about action. Presumption is more about thought. What we're discussing here is actions, assumptions. I think that that's an important distinction. One more moment. I think it's always important to study the actual word and some of the significance of the actual word and compare it to other words, because sometimes we mix up ideas. So we're talking about assumptions. The third agreement is don't make any. Don't have assumptions. Don't have hypotheses on this is what's going to happen. That's what an assumption is. A presumption is a belief that I can't prove. An assumption is this is what's going to happen, but there's no proof. It's something in the future, an action. We have the tendency where I'm on page 63. IG, thank you for following me up there. I appreciate you guys. We have the tendency to make assumptions about everything The problem with assumptions are we believe they're true. Why wouldn't we? We made them up. They came from me. I don't tend to lie to myself. So if I'm assuming something, it's probably true to me. How often do we think something that isn't true? Yeah, of course they are, Kim, because they're hypotheses, right? How often do we assume something that isn't true? As often as you assume things, usually. We could swear our assumptions are real sometimes. We make assumptions about what other people are doing. We make assumptions about what they're thinking. Oh, yeah, well, of course they're thinking, because it's based off of what you think. Well, the reason they're not getting back to me is because they are. Have you ever waited for a text and you're just waiting and you're waiting and now you're getting mad at the person? Little did you know that they had an accident and were on the way to the hospital. They weren't ignoring you. They weren't ignoring you. You sat there for 3 or 4 hours. Oh, that son of a gun, he's ignoring me again. He's on his way to the hospital, bro. We do it all the time. There you go, Street. That's so good. Once we make that assumption, it's hard to see the other truth because we believe the one we made. It's something that's very, very real. We assume things. They don't even need to be about us. Well, I assume that Lakita lady, I assume she's actually, kind of lazy. She only shows up here every once in a while. I don't know anything about her. I'm just glad when she is here. Don't make an assumption about her. Because we make the craziest assumptions. Oh, the ones we really assume are our relationship, the people we're in relationships with. Right, Streety? We made a deal out of that. The people we're in relationships, we assume. Well, they know me, so they should. This is what they should do. Clean, get out of here. We believe these things. We make up stuff. We no more know if it's real than the man on the moon. But to us it is. That's the insidious part. We wouldn't have even thought of it if it wasn't to us be true. You know what happens? Because we think they're talking about us. We assume it. Now we can take it personal too. Now we can break both agreements at the same time. Not only can I assume it, but I get to take it personal too. I wonder how good that is for my relationship with you. How good do you think that is for my relationship? Do you blame yourself or do you blame them? Well, it can't be me because I know the truth. So it's got to be someone else's fault. So now blame gets creeping in. There was no truth in the first place, but now they're blamed. This thing snowballs. Snowballs like gossip does. Assumptions snowball. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we're asking for problems. We are birthing resentments. Here you go, little resentment. Let me feed you. In about an hour, I'm going to feed you again. You know what? About an hour from now, I'm going to give you a big bowl. And we start feeding these things. then it was an assumption in the first place. We make assumptions, we misunderstand, we take it personal, and we create all this big drama for no reason. If you hadn't have made the assumption in the first place, zero drama. Phew. Man, all I got to worry about is growing some mushrooms and modeling some little miniature stuff, man. This is easy. All I got to worry about is making sure I don't get caught dropping off anything at the mailbox. This is easy. Smooth sailing. Speak impeccably. Don't take things personal. And don't make any assumptions. Whew. Some of us need the drama, though. What would I do if I didn't have drama? Well, maybe you should call a friend and go over there and give him a hand doing something. You could fill a space that you've filled with drama doing some really neat stuff. You could do what Pops is doing. I'm trying to win a national level contest, model contest. That's what I'm doing. I'm competing every day in my head and with my fingers. And I have no assumptions that I'm going to win, but I'm having fun and I'm staying out of the way and I'm not hurting anybody. And I'm creating. Prep a tub. There's a good one. No drama for the llama. Go prep a tub. The mushrooms have no time for drama. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life, all. Didn't say a little bit of it. Didn't say some of it. Didn't mean a little nick. All the sadness and drama that we've lived in our lives were rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. There isn't any drama that you can talk about in your life that didn't have a root of an assumption and or taking things personally. Wow. We literally have the prescription to remove drama from our lives. We literally have the prescription. Pain will still come. Death will still come. Nature will still come. Lightning and storms. Stuff will still happen. But it won't be drama that you created. All you have to do is two things. Don't take something personal and don't make an assumption. The third one even works great. Manifest always impeccability. Drama-free life. I'm living a drama-free life. When I smell drama, I run from it. I want it so little. I probably ignore some people I shouldn't because I'm afraid that it's going to bring me drama. I don't want it. Ah! Get away, drama. Go, go. So I'm making an assumption the drama's coming. We assume so much. So if I assume drama's coming, I run. Take a moment to consider the truth of this statement. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in either taking something personal or making an assumption. The whole world of control between humans is about making assumptions and taking things personal. Our whole dream of health is based off of that. We create a lot of emotional poison by making assumptions and taking things personally. We created it. Whatever that energy was that threw that thing at me, remember that I'm immune. Remember I'm immune. Or I can let my shield of immunity down and take it personal. Hit me with it. Hit me with your best shot. I can take it. You don't even get to come near me. I'm immune. The immunity comes from being impeccable. I can't possibly be responsible for that because I've been impeccable. All of that's drama. All of that stuff I don't go to anymore. I go a couple of places now. I go to my grow house, I go to my YouTube, I go to my emails, and I go to the post office. None of them include drama. Eliminated it. And if somebody's going to come into my life that's bringing drama, they don't get to stick around. Not because they're a bad person. Go somewhere else and do that. You go learn your lessons. Right now, I don't want matote. We create a lot of emotional poison. Because usually, guess what we usually do? This is true too. This is so true. True. What do we usually do with our assumptions? We start gossiping about them. I let Sandy know, did you, that son of a gun didn't come through. Because you had an assumption. So now we're going to start spreading emotional poison about that person. It was your fault in the first place. You didn't clarify things. You didn't make sure you totally understood. That is not what that person said. That is not what they meant. And here's the key. We don't do this. We weren't taught this. Go straight to the source. Is this what you said? By the time you've heard it third, fourth, fifth person, of course it's not what they said. Not even close anymore. And yet you're taking it. Oh, that's what they said. Who told you? My grandmother told me that my father-in-law said it to my cousin twice removed. You're kidding me. Go talk to the cousin twice removed. Yo, bro, I just want to clear things up. Do I owe you something? Let me fix it. If it means anything. Most of the time it doesn't. Remember, gossip is the way we communicate to each other in this dream of hell. It's the way we do. Because we're afraid to ask for clarification. So we just create drama. 9/10 of the assumptions and drama would go away if we asked for clarification. Did you mean? That's why when they teach us how to argue in the therapy classes, couple therapy, that's why you repeat what the person said before you say, this is what I heard. Is this what you meant? This is what I heard. Is this what you meant? No, I didn't mean that at all. You got to clarify it right then and there. No assumptions, no emotional poison, no drama. Adult communication. Mature, impeccable communication. Is this what you meant? You know who we don't do it very well with? Our bosses. We run off half the... Boss, I'm not really sure what you meant by that mission. I need to ask you 3 more questions. Do you have time? You're always asking questions. Because I don't want to make assumptions, sir. I want to do the best job I can. I need just a little more information from you. No drama. Half our jobs have drama because we didn't communicate well at the jobs. Well, the boss told me to do this. That isn't what he said. He didn't think he said that. We do it in all of our relationships. Brock and I are getting so good at communicating now, it's just like, we almost grunt. Okay, that's what he meant. No drama. If I didn't understand, I'll ask. It's not a reflection that I'm a dumbass. It's a reflection that I don't want to make an assumption. I want to do my best. I don't want to gossip. I don't want matote. I don't want fog. I don't want drama. All I have to do is clarify a little bit here. If you don't understand what I'm saying, let me clarify. I don't want you to go away misunderstanding or making an assumption about what I said. I want us to clearly communicate so we can get the job done, so we can serve people together. We're afraid to ask for clarification, so we make assumptions, and then we believe we're right about our assumptions. It's true, Kim. Then we defend our assumptions, and we try to make other people wrong for them. It's always better to ask questions than to make an assumption, because an assumption sets us up for suffering. One more paragraph for today. Oh, this is some good stuff, you guys. This is such good reminders for all of us. The big matote. You remember what the Toltecs call that? That fog, the dream of hell, the crap that's going on in our world, the way they talk to each other, the way they politicize everything, the way that's filled with division and hate, the way they sell drama. They sell it, and people buy it every day. They line up, take money out of their pockets and give it to somebody so I can get fed another round of drama, please. That's how our world runs. And it's a human condition. It's a human condition. And we escape it by being impeccable. We escape it by, I'm not as important as I think I am. You cannot say or do something to me that I'm going to take personal. I'm not that important. And I can't make an assumption. I can't. If I make an assumption, I'm inviting drama into my life. I'm opening up a door and saying, drama, please come into my life. I can invite hate in too, by talking hateful. I can invite division in too, by talking divisively. One side versus another side. I'm right and you're wrong. It's not time to be right and wrong. Those are assumptions. I can't assume if I'm watching somebody serve, they're serving. There's no assumption about it. They are. Look at them. They're serving. That's who I want to be. You can't make a lot of assumptions about me. You just got to watch what I do. The big matote in the human mind creates a lot of chaos, which causes us to misinterpret and misunderstand everything. We only see what we want to see, and we only hear what we want to hear. We don't perceive things the way they are. We have the habit of dreaming with no basis in reality. We literally dream things up in our imagination. He's ignoring me because... Actually, his phone fell in the toilet. He can't get back to you, dude. Because we don't understand something, we make an assumption about the meaning. And when the truth comes out, the bubble of our dream pops. And we find out that isn't what it was meant at all. We'll give some examples tomorrow of assuming. Does anybody agree with Pops? Assuming sounds pretty poisonous at this point? Give me 5 people that think, assuming sounds like I'm doing something pretty poisonous to myself. Probably to somebody that I care about too. If I'm making an assumption about them, I might be throwing some poison out there too. Anybody agree with that? Sounds pretty toxic. That's a good word. Well, let's avoid it. There isn't anything under my kitchen sink that's got one of those skull and crossbones that I'm going to go drink today. Not one. Not one of those concoctions. Raid? No. Not opening my mouth, not spraying it in there. That's what an assumption would be. Got another one. Got myself a little poison going on here. I'm going to do real good today. Michael, mental pesticide. Love you guys. I'll see you here tomorrow. Same time, same mush channel. We'll be talking about the grain that it's now cultivating. What do we do with it? What's the next step after that? And let's just keep growing together. Let's practice. You guys, man, what a beautiful gym today. What a great workout. Thanks for being here. Thank you. I've got some very nice letter to read tomorrow. We have mail call tomorrow. We'll get things rocking and rolling around here. Okay? Pops, peace. Let me scroll some people out. Jesus Christ and Kimberly. Mushmouth's here. Notorious Nugs, Pacers, thank you. Joe D's and Cleany and HB. Thank you, HB. Satter and Nick. Nick with the swag. RJB Hendrix. Slap a sticker on it. 4 Leap for luck. Herbs, love you, kid. HB, SSW. SSW's all about it. Pacers, Mushmouth, there's Mushy. Pilar's here this morning. Satter and Joe D's and Mushroom Farmers Guild. Laura, do me a huge favor. It's a personal favor. Would you please be divine today? That's easy for you. Nerdy, love you, kid. Shy, that's my guy. Vegas, see you tomorrow, sweetie. 4 Leaf, Corey D, thank you. Cleany, Streety, you're the man. Herbs and King and Tree stumping it. Sandy, love you. J.W. Owen, all over it. RJ and Joe D's and Billy D and Derek Anderson, thank you, my good friend. Mello, all the way. Lakita, thanks for letting me tease you this morning. John Zuck and Mr. Marmars. And Nippy, there's the Nip. Anthony Tatum all day. Melody Dawn and SSW and Wazzy. The Wazzy Washington. Jimmy Max is practicing. Penny Pack, go get it. All right, Penny, we'll get open that tomorrow then. Mushroom and Mr. Phillips and Marmars and Michael Patterson, thank you, my love. Sharon and Jolie, there's Jolie. 4 Leaf, Jesus Christ in Australia. Nerdy Cat, meow. Zilla, Freddy. Jesus Christ, Mike Baraball, Derek Anderson, H.J.W. Owen, Mike Baraball, Jesus Christ, Kingy Metro, Pidgey, Page, Joe D's, Notorious Nugs, Derek Anderson. That's all we have time for. Pops, peace, love each other. Be impeccable. Don't take things personal. Don't make assumptions.